Equal Pay Day.
Teď je naší hostkou Boishardy, generální ředitelka společnosti GSK Česká republika. Emmanuelle je francouzská, je v Česku už 3 roky, je také matka 2 dcer, je vdaná a její vášní je medicína a výzkum. Emma je zkušená manažerka, která se o své zkušenosti ráda dělí v různých mentoringových programech a já jsem moc ráda, že se s námi Emmanuelle podělí teď v naší virtuální konferenci o své zkušenosti. Emmanuelle Boishardy, Experience Women Leader is with us. Emmanuelle.
Hello everyone, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, Emmanuelle.
You can call me Emma, you know, usually.
Okay, okay. Emma, your company is one of the most important player in the pharmaceutical area. And honestly, I would expect that it's a more male business. But the fact is that women represents half of employees of your company. What do you do differently that you are able to create such a female-friendly environment?
Yeah, thank you for the question. It's true that we became a more female-friendly company during the last years, and probably the main reason is about our CEO, because Emma, another Emma, the big Emma Wemsley, was appointed exactly 3 years ago. It was in March 2017. And I have to say that her appointment accelerated the pace of the transformation, and it was really, a key point. She brought, and you know, when you are a new CEO, you want to bring something new, and it was about the transformation of our culture. And I think it's about the culture shift. So it's not, you know, just marketing activities, branding activities that we need to have more women. I think it's truly in our activities, and it's mainly supported by a new program and a new ambition called Modern Employer. And beside, you know, and behind this program, we have 3 pillars. The first one is Be You, the second one is Feel Good, and the third one is Keep Growing. And of course, it's not only for women, but this program, you know, is supporting a lot women. I can give you some example, but for example, the Be You, it's about diversity, and I think the gender diversity is really the most important thing, you know, to think about and to promote also our women. So we have a lot of communication about this, super important. I have to say that in Czech Republic, I have a lot of fantastic women in my team, just my leadership team. Just to give you some numbers, I have 7 women out of 9 people. I think we have a good representation of women, definitely, and I can see, you know, the value of having a woman with me, definitely. But it's not about quota, you know. Sometimes I'm receiving this question about female quota in your company. I am absolutely against the quota. If you know you need to have these quotas, I think it's quite difficult to manage in terms of communication. So I think it's better really to have a new ways of working. For example, to have strong succession plan, to have a real talent management discussion, and each time to ask ourselves about the value to have women, you know, in great position within the company. We are doing a lot also as part of this BU pillar for the maternity leave, because I discovered when I joined Czech Republic that you have one of the longest maternity leave. 3 years is possible to have. But still, we can see, and more I have to say, I think currently I have 15 moms on maternity leave at GSK, but most of them can work from home for a few hours per week. And, you know, I think it's another way also to keep the connection with the company and to keep some development and keep growing, you know, within the company. Another thing is about the second pillar, the feel good, which is about mental health and well-being. And I think also it's really really good to allow the women also to have a balance, you know, a work-life balance. And we can see it particularly during these days, you know, being at home, managing work and kids, you know, at the same time, which is not easy. So we need also this flexibility. And at GSK, we are trying on a daily basis to support a man in this flexibility. And the third pillar is about keep growing. I would say quite classical, finally, to focus on the development of our women within the company. But we are trying to put really emphasis about how we can support through coaching, through mentoring, and even classical training, you know, the development of our women. So it's some example I have, you know, and I think we can make the difference. And that's probably the reason why we are in this good position at GSK, not only in Czech Republic, but everywhere promoting our women.
I know that you like your role as a mentor.
Yeah.
What's your experience? What are obstacles we ourselves as a woman put in our way?
Yeah. So probably because now I have good and long experience, I like sharing and supporting people, and particularly the young ladies. And when I joined Czech Republic 3 years ago, I've been offered to take part of this fantastic program called Equilibrium Program, led by the British Chamber of Commerce. So no, I was in my job only a few days when I received this offer. You know, everything was new for me, and I said, wow, I like, you know, this mentorship, and maybe it's good also for me, really selfish approach, you know, to say, maybe I will also build my network with the British Chamber of Commerce, and maybe I will bring also something different with my French culture. So I decided to say yes, and to be honest, I don't have any regrets. It will be the third year for me, my third mentee, and it's just exceptional to have the opportunity also to mentor people outside of your company, because the culture is different, the approach is different, and but I have to say that the main obstacle is always the same: the lack of self-confidence and the lack of communication. So, you know, each time it's absolutely the same profile. I say, no, but you know, I'm not able to do this, so I'm not ready to do that. And you can see always the same thing, that the self-confidence of the woman in jumping into a new position, it's really difficult to get. So, but at the same time, by having also some discussion, more communication about this, and say, you know, you don't have to change, just to think about what is possible for you, and to put some just simple actions in place, and to have the courage to speak sometime with your boss, and just to share also your willingness to grow within the company, and or just to do something different, or just to be aligned also with your values and your ambition. So again, I think it's a lot of communication behind. So I'm glad that I have this opportunity to share my experience. And I'm glad also to see the progress of my mentees. So I'm super proud, you know, when some of them are coming back to me and say, you know what, I tried and it works. And it works. I really open the communication, and it's really different. And so I think it's great. And as leader, I think we need to support our young ladies, you know, in this way.
Emma, you are a very open person, and I know that you don't have both office, and you sit together with your colleague in open space. And I know that as a manager, female manager, you were inspired by your father. How
Correct.
exactly did he inspire you?
First of all, I have to say that, and it's quite usual, but my parents have played an important role in building my values, you know, not at work, but in my life. And my father was a manager as well, quite big team, 80 people. And, you know, we have in France this traditional dinner, you know, which is super important moment in the day. And it was about sharing our days. So at school, but also for my parents at work. And from my father, I was always amazed by the level of respect he has and he had for the team, for his team. So it was about listening, you know, it was about being with them, trying to find solution all together, and again this respect. So, you know, probably I built my leadership through the values I got from my father as a role model, you know, and I try to keep this, you know, which sometimes it's not easy. We are working a lot on the authenticity, you know, of being a manager, of being a leader. It's part of our modern employer program. Be you. What does it mean? Are you different when you are at home or when you are at work? How you can behave, you know, with authenticity. So I think it came from my father, and I try to keep it. And I have to say that during my career, sometime I got negative feedback on this, you know, because when you are a manager, you have to be tough, you have to behave as a male, you know, and and I always pushed back this. And I remember tough discussion with some of my bosses about this. I said, I won't change because I don't want to change. So, you know, if I'm not aligned anymore with the values of my company, probably I will have to leave. But just by having this type of discussion, finally, your boss can acknowledge that you can be also a good manager and a good leader by keeping your authenticity and by being super open and honest with your employees.
I have their message. Working in Emma leadership team is really amazing. She is authentic leader. We are really living in GSK what she is talking about. Generous leader who trusts people. Emma, this is a message from chat. Could you say what did you want to inspire young women in your company?
I think it's about, you know, opening, you know, the window of possibilities. And just to show them that they can do something different. I don't want to push people to be developed, you know. I think the development is about thinking about what you want to achieve in your life, at home and at work. And sometimes you have a nice combination. So I think it's about inspiring people, just thinking about this, and then supporting people in their development. So, and on what they want to achieve, you know. Sometimes during your career, because you are a mom, you need also to have this flexibility I already mentioned, or to work part-time, because this is also your work-life balance during this period. So I think we need also to be to be supportive to the mom. So the inspiration is more about everything is possible. You need just to be clear on what you want to achieve, and let's do it in a simple way.
Okay, I have a question for you about the CSR implementation. Does it really support women, or it's just a theoretical, modern, nice to have thing? How can we use transfer and share your company experience into a wide awareness and this strengthen people public perception. How we can use your experience?
You can duplicate the the good ideas. You know, we are not owner of the great initiatives. You know, that's why the more we are sharing what we can do with great initiative, the more people can duplicate. You know, the initiative in each company. So I think I think this is the key thing. You know. Nothing magical. I would just, it's just about communication, sharing, just to see if it's possible, and always to think about what will be the added value of the initiatives.
Okay, Emma, we are all go through a difficult time now, and the future is uncertain. What do you think is the most important thing in order to find a stability as individuals, families, companies, you know, the society?
I think for me, the most important thing is to keep the connection with people. So we are trying to organize several sessions, you know, to keep this connection. Of course, with my close team, I have daily connection, even twice a day, during the morning, during the afternoon, just to see how people are and how we can manage also some business continuity in these difficult times. But yesterday, for example, I can share with you. Usually, when I am at work, I have, I'd say, open coffee with Emma. It's 1 hour open coffee. What does it mean? You can bring your coffee, come to me, and we can have a really informal discussion. So it could be private discussion, professional discussion. You can ask questions if you need some clarification about our strategy or the things are moving. It's super open. There's no standard agenda for this. So yesterday, I tested the idea of having virtual coffee with Emma through Skype. And I have to say that it was really great. First of all, to see the faces of my people, because of course I'm not connected with each of them every day. So just to have smiling faces on the screen. Finally, 16 people attending the virtual coffee was great, good discussion. And it was not about professional discussion. It was about sharing, how our life changed during these days, how we are coping, with kids at home, managing also the school homework. We had a lot of fun. We saw even some kids behind the camera with the moms. So it was really great atmosphere, only 1 hour, but I think it was good. I received very nice feedback. So I decided to have a weekly virtual coffee. So next one will be next Thursday. So again, I think it's about keeping this connection, being transparent, share also your doubts, be authentic. And I think it's exactly the same, in your private life. During these days, I don't know you, but I have, the need to be connected with my friends in France or in other countries, just to know how they are. And I think it's important to keep this at least virtual connection.
Okay, I see there a question from audience. Mehrdlitz raised her or his hand. We don't know. If you can very briefly, please, because...
Michaela, dobrý den. Hello, Emma. Thank you very much. I cannot agree more. And my question to you, just, what is the most important leadership skill for women? Because we are different women, and so we know now the modern expected leadership style. So what is from your perspective?
Thank you.
It's not easy. I think we have a lot of common sense because we are managing a lot of things, at home and at work. So keeping this common sense, being pragmatic, listening people, I would say loving people is for me super important, and probably, you know, the base of a good leadership.
Emmanuelle Boishardy was our guest, CEO of GSK Czech Republic. Emma, thank you so much for your time.